Tuesday. Good evening, everybody that's watching near and far on all of our special content stations. It's time for the Masked Comedian X-Cast alongside Big Ace. I'm Masked Comedian X. How you doing, Ace?
Hello. How's it going?
Oh, it's going well. So well. We're on all four platforms again tonight. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on Periscope, Twitter, and we are on Twitch. And if our buddies from Twitch, the Weeble Wobble or whatever his name was, want to start making fart noises again, we'll let him do it. Because, that's always a good thing. It's fun. Coronavirus affecting things. And I've heard that it's also, it's affecting my day job. I've heard that it's affecting a little bit with people's WrestleMania plans, to be honest. In that they're having a little bit of a hard time in gauging the tickets. Ticket sales are slow, and I think they're blaming the coronavirus.
Yeah, I also feel like, did airline prices go up?
So here's what happened. Airline prices did not go up, but Delta.
Yeah,
well, so it's one of those odd things, right? So Delta did not increase their prices, but they've decreased their flights by 10 to 15%. So they didn't go up, but they didn't go down. And there's less. There are less flights right now. Same thing with United. United dropped all of their flights. They reduced them by 7.5%. They didn't reduce the price, just the number of flights. So it's a supply and demand thing. They're just not flying some of those flights. Thank God you're not in Italy. Thank God the WWE did not do a show in Italy, or they'd not be out of there. The whole country's closed down. That's crazy. And in fact, I know one of my buddies, a fellow comedian, his mother was on that cruise ship that just came to port in hey, how you doing? Oh my God, we love it.
It's amazing that YouTube has closed captioning.
Yeah, well, because it does. It's nice, and I wonder if it works with swears. Anyway, point being, she was on a cruise to Hawaii. Apparently that boat was off to Hawaii, and now that she comes back to San Francisco or Oakland or wherever it ported, cruise ships are super cheap. You get an extra 2 weeks. That's right. 2 weeks. You get an extra 2 weeks at an Army base of your choice. He doesn't know where she's going yet, but she's going somewhere. San Antonio's one of them, I know. Another one in California. So anyway, it's affected everything. I'm home again this week. I thought I was going to be in Manhattan. Nope. Thank you. So my travels got shut down for this week. We'll be doing something funky next week. I'll be somewhere, but I don't think it'll be at home. And my actual day job's kind of been put on hold until April the 9th. August. So, and by the way, my dear sweet mother, who is 82 years old, told me on the phone today, because I was planning on coming down for a visit. She says, well, that coronavirus is starting to pick up down here, so why don't you just stay home?
Didn't they just have their first person confirmed?
I don't even know. It's I'm just like,
if I remember correctly, Iowa had their first confirmed case today or yesterday.
Yeah. It's like they're not even on the map, right? It's like, we're getting this, I was like, okay, fine. And I'm like, Mom, can I come next week? Oh, I don't know. They've been having some really bad chicken pox outbreaks. I had the chicken pox, Mom. Oh yeah, but why don't you just stay home? I don't really need to see you.
A few months later, it's just going to be like, you know what? I just don't have any more excuses. Just don't come.
You know what? I think I'm washing the cat that weekend.
Oh, it's sad. We're talking about your mother not loving you.
She. You know what? My mother is a sweet lady. She sends me the gift cards. When I'm out working on the road. Did you know that?
I did not.
Yeah, she does. It's pretty cool. She sent me a $100 gift card for Giddy Up Gas. that I can use nationwide, right, at any of their 2 locations.
I was going to say, I've never heard of it.
Yeah, so Des Moines and West Des Moines. Thanks, Mom.
Well,
come in handy.
Have to go visit. So
come in handy.
It's funny. Like, I mean, people are freaking out over that, and now they said that at like Access and stuff in Mania this year, there will be 0 like physical interacting with the superstars. They don't.
Oh yeah,
no one's allowed to touch them.
Yeah,
fear of outbreak.
Well, I mean, if one person in a locker room was presumptive, that means the whole locker room's probably quarantined for 2 weeks. And that really puts a kibosh on production, don't you think?
Yeah, but maybe that's what needs to happen for WWE.
Well, we'll get into that in a minute.
But yeah, I don't know. It's crazy times. I mean,
I can tell you this: when I was in Boston, it was no handshakes, no hugs. It was not even fist bumps. It was elbow bumps because the elbows was covered. And the news out there too, because when you're out there where it's really, really densely populated on the East Coast, about 30% of the news was about Corona stuff. And it's just, I don't know, man. My mom was also going to send me up some. She's, oh, can I send you some sanitary wipes? And I'm like, no.
Like, yeah, I'll sell them.
I mean, well, I guess I never thought of that.
Stand outside of Target.
Yeah,
I got it right here. What do you
got
need?
Your wipes. Still sealed. Anyway, so we did have a pay-per-view on Sunday, the Elimination Chamber. I don't know where you want to start this week. I did watch the Elimination Chamber. I remember handfuls of it because at this point, what happens is I don't really like it. I'll be honest with you. A lot of times I fall asleep for stuff. I'm like, oh, that's great. And then I wake up and I'm like, what the hell did I miss? Which is nice because on the network, you can go back and I was like, oh, this is where I remember.
Right.
But I mean, there were a couple things that were pretty good on the Elimination Chamber. A couple things that were just like, I don't know what the hell these are for. But you starting right off with Daniel Bryan and Gulag, which was a great match. I really enjoyed it. In their little storyline about, I know all of your flaws.
I didn't know that was currently going on because, again, I haven't been watching SmackDown.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. I've always liked Drew Gulak. I liked him from his days in the Indies. Yeah, he's always been really good. When he was doing like CZW and stuff. So I was always pumped when he made it to WWE. And then, I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, I like it. I like Drew Gulak. He's good. And Daniel Bryan, I feel like those two had to have at some point a match on the indie scene before they were both ever in WWE.
Yeah.
Because they were going at that same time. But yeah, that was a really good way to start the show off.
It was. And then what do we have next on any of them you got in front of you?
And I think it was Andrade.
Yeah. I got to be honest with you. I'm starting to get real tired of this kind of 3-way, 4-way merry-go-round with these guys. You got Andrade, you got Humberto, you got Salazar, and you got Mysterio. And it's just like, what's the point? You guys just keep wrestling each other, and there's no point to any of it. And again, having said, it's all good matches, but there's no reason for it.
Yeah, they really just segregated the Latin guys. They're like, you guys just get this like 20-minute block of TV. Just, do what you want to do.
I got this.
She's out there too. Like,
yeah, I got this feeling that somebody said, "Hey, you remember back in the 90s when WCW had the luchadors? Let's do that again, and we just won't call it that." And people will love it because it's good action. Because that's honestly what WCW did. They had all the old guys who were good on the mic and good with storylines, and then and sucked ass at wrestling. And they had all the Hispanic wrestlers, the Latinos, that were really good at wrestling, but were not really great with stories.
Yeah, it's I don't know. See, because I kind of thought they were gonna do something with like Humberto Garza and Andrade all in the being a stable for.
Yeah, I don't know. Salazar, Garza. I mean, I hate to be like, it's just. What can I say, man? Yeah, Latino World Order. There you go. Oh my God. I don't remember. Angel Garza is something, right?
I want to know what the
Salazar doing. Angel Garza, Angel Salazar. Angel Salazar is something. I gotta look that up because I keep thinking of that.
And again, we still haven't gotten anything with Mysterio's kid, which why would you tease that? What, like 3-4 months ago now, and now it's just nothing?
It's just a waste.
So that's fun. Awesome.
Anyway, so that happened.
Yeah, so then they did the again, I'm really bad with Smackdown, and I apologize that I'm not up to date with what had been happening on there because I didn't even know the Miz and Morrison had the titles.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they did the Elimination Chamber match.
There were a lot of cool things in that. A lot of cool things in the Elimination Chamber. Of course, the big story there was Otis and Ziggler. Mm-hmm. Which
it's got to be building. I mean, they're obviously going to have a match at Mania.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I just kind of feel like
it would have been better than whatever that was.
Oh God, yeah. I just kind of feel like having him run through that door, as cool as it was, served absolutely zero purpose.
Well, it took him out.
Yeah, but I mean,
what's the point, though?
But what's
the match, again? They're getting
so again. Do they have to protect everybody?
I don't know. If protecting, you know what it is Vince McMahon's mentality, and it's big giant guy. He's gonna break the door.
Yeah,
it's good shit. Oh, Dominic. Yeah, Dominic should have definitely been there. Like, I don't get why. Again, I don't get why you like the whole thing with Rey Mysterio wanting to retire, Dominic saying don't, not until I can tag with you. Because let's be honest, Ray's got to be almost done.
Well, we're going on a year almost, right?
I mean, yeah, he's made out of so many spare parts by now. It's not even funny. Like he's like a half of AutoZone.
Yeah.
So I don't.
And literally, we're going on a year almost, right? How long? It was close to a year, right? It was just after Mania, right? Last year?
Okay, yeah, I believe so.
I mean, come on, man.
Gotta have a payoff, guys. Pay off. Unless, like, he's...
Okay, son, I'll keep wrestling until we can tag. Or until Vince thinks you can wrestle.
That's what it really is.
I mean, it's just stupid.
Yeah. So, obviously, then you got the AJ Styles, Aleister Black, no DQ match, which OC is going to get involved in. And you just kind of knew where that was going to go. And it happened. The moment happened. Taker comes out, takes care of the OC.
It was nice.
Yeah, it was good. It'll be, and we'll touch on that from Raw to get further into that whole thing.
Yeah.
But it was a fun match still because Aleister's just a really good talent.
Aleister and AJ still, even though he's getting older, is still fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And he can make anybody look good. And between he and Aleister, man, it was a great match. I'd like to see more of that.
Yeah. Then you had the Raw Tag Champs Profits versus Seth Rollins and Murphy. Street Profits win. Owens gets
involved with popcorn.
It's involved with the popcorn, which I liked, but I didn't like how they played that off on Raw.
I agree.
The Intercontinental Championship 3 versus 1 handicap match. I'm really digging this like almost heel manager role Sami Zayn starting.
Absolutely.
It was great when he's like, just might as well fight all three. Oh yeah, you're right. That's true. And then I just like that he was like, I might as well fight all three. And Sami Zayn does so you said you could beat all three of us?
Yeah.
So obviously they beat Braun Strowman, but specifically Sami Zayn gets the pin off of Shinsuke's hard work. And so now Sami Zayn is the new Intercontinental Champion, which I couldn't be any happier about. Like,
and here's another
thing to do going into Mania.
Right. And here's another reason that I really like it is because Nakamura can't speak well, and apparently Cesaro ain't that great either. And so he's got two guys that really have some talent but aren't good on the mic, and he's a great mouthpiece, and he can also wrestle, Sammy.
I agree.
So
I think Cesaro is better than some people.
Absolutely.
He definitely was just wrong booking.
He doesn't get the opportunities either.
No, when he won because he won that first Andre the Giant memorial battle royal at the 30, I think it was.
Yep.
He won the first one, and like that was still an unknown thing, that match. So like that's where they should have really started to push him towards being a top guy. They didn't, and now that whole battle royal, when it's still, I don't even remember if it happened last year. I thought it did, but when that thing happens now, it's just kind of a big joke.
Yeah,
obviously. I mean, you can't even carry the trophy. Although I love the oversized trophy for the greatest tag team in the world, and I love the fact that Carl Anderson is always the one that has to carry it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so damn entertaining. Raw's Women's Championship #1 contenders Elimination Chamber match. I was wrong. Becky did not have to interfere. Instead, they made Shayna Baszler look like the toughest woman in the division.
I mean, I'll tell you what, I was
but
pleasantly surprised, but there were the huge glaring problem was the amount of time that they, for whatever reason, kept those other two inside the chambers.
Mm-hmm.
That absolutely was useless.
There was no, like, she could have still took everybody out. She didn't have to do it. Like, it's not the Rumble. It's not every 2 minutes someone's coming to the ring. It's a 5-minute interval. So if she takes, like, it was just a lot of time wasted.
Oh, gigantically wasted.
Plus, you're trying to build these other storylines. So you have Asuka and Natty in there who are going to eventually have this Kabuki Warriors versus Beth Phoenix and Natalya match. And then you have the whole Riot Squad in there, and you didn't do anything to help build that. I mean, you had their little tear downs, and that was it, but there was no physical action to help build it. It didn't really matter. Like the whole on Raw, then Liv ended up attacking them instead of being there for Natty. Like that would have happened, I think, either way. Like, mentality, like storyline wise. So it's like, it was weird. They didn't need to do it, but again, too, here's the deal: they need to make her look tough to win.
Yep.
Apparently, all the talk is that Vince McMahon's definitely not 100% on board with her yet.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't see her winning, to be real honest. Yeah, I agree. I just I don't see her winning. I don't see her being the face of that. I just don't. You hear that Vince McMahon's not a fan. You kind of know what he looks for when it's the male talent, the female talent, and I just don't know. Exactly. She's not Ronda Rousey. That's what he wants.
Yeah,
and he'll have that again. So I don't think he's in any hurry. Plus, that's the other thing with this whole storyline that doesn't make sense. Yes, Shayna Baszler was like one of the longest reigning women's NXT champion.
Mm-hmm.
She had some amazing matches with amazing talent there. Paid her dues, did whatever. But the other thing is that's because Ronda Rousey is held to a higher degree than Shayna Baszler is and always will be. One is obviously going to be better than the other in the way that they're doing this. So you mean to tell me that all of a sudden Becky might not beat Shayna Baszler, even though she's already beaten Charlotte and Ronda Rousey in the same night in the same match? Like, come on, that's just Baszler doesn't win. That just doesn't happen. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe they do it, but I just don't see it happening.
Well, I mean, it'd be nice if it did, because then it would lend to something else. But the reality is that it seems like WWE has just the short attention span anymore.
Well, it seems like they're at a standstill with their women's division right now. They really want to keep Charlotte, Becky in this limelight. They want to keep them out there. Bailey and Sasha have kind of gone away. Sasha obviously hasn't been around. Bailey is just kind of there. I don't know. So it's it feels like they're not sure who should be these next ones getting pushed up.
Yeah,
I think a Bianca Belair is going to come out soon, and that she'll get some major play. Candice LeRae should be getting pulled up like sooner than later, and she should be a major part of it.
I know you didn't watch.
Zelina Vega should be in more matches.
Oh,
she
yeah,
is a good talent. That's just a lot of things they're not doing right now that they could be.
I think I know you didn't watch SmackDown, and I think if you were to go back and watch, at least isolate the match between the tag match between Bailey and Sasha and Lacey and whoever the hell she was with, who I don't remember. I think you'll see that they look like they're maybe tilting towards a eventual Bailey Sasha match.
I mean, that's what that all has to end up being. Right?
Ultimately, it really does. But it's just sort of hanging there at this point. And
I feel like when that happens, they'll probably turn Bailey because, yeah. Oh, no, he didn't.
He still doesn't.
I mean, it's better now, but.
Oh, good Lord. I don't know, man. Now, I mean, I like Asuka. I am a huge Asuka fan, but the
they've ruined a golden opportunity when they had Paige being the mouthpiece for those two. But I don't know. I think he thinks it's funny.
He does.
He's got to be back there and be like,
that's funny. She can't even speak, and yet everybody's afraid of her.
It's just ridiculous. And they let it go for so long on Raw.
You know, well, I just feel like there's so much stuff there that's just sort of for no reason. Like nobody can anybody give me any reason why the Riot Squad broke up other than Ruby got shoulder surgery? No.
Well, no, they did.
No, we just need to break up.
But they did the promo where Ruby did the whole
oh my God, yeah.
They did the whole thing where she said that like Liv Morgan forgot where she came from and they owe her the reason that they're whatever. That I mean, that's kind of what it gets chalked up to. I did like that Sarah Logan kind of got in the middle and then just took them both out. But
yeah,
me too, though. Like, but obviously Ruby Riot's been gone too long. She was kind of picking up steam, but and yeah, and I don't know. I just I don't see that being such a big feud that I want to see that on Mania.
No,
you know what I mean, like that's the pre-show match for sure. And they'll probably do 4 pre-show matches since it's an 10-hour event. So I which is sad too because Liv is getting over the other.
Because I'll tell you what, every time I watch her, holy crap, she's got skills that nobody gave her a chance to use.
Yeah, that's definitely for sure. She never really got a fair shake when she was in ring till now. And again, now it's being used in this Ruby Riot or this Riot Squad feud that just is kind of like, well, who cares? They have the Riot Squad for so long. Who cares? They didn't do anything super great before Ruby Riot got hurt. They never got if they would have had a run where they had the titles and they were kind of doing the Freebird rules.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Then there would have been some more note to it. But I mean, the biggest thing was Ruby Riot's feud with Natalya after her dad died.
Yeah.
That was like it. So it's, I don't know. It's sad. And hopefully that they can, like, by SummerSlam be using Liv Morgan to the capabilities that she should be used at. But who knows?
I mean, she
is a really good talent.
Oh, yeah.
In the ring. So who knows?
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So that was Chamber.
Yeah. And I will say this too about Liv Morgan. You watch her, man, when given the opportunity, she does not care about her body, man. She just goes full bore with it. And that is absolutely That is absolutely the killer to me. Yeah. You know how it is, man. You break up in wrestling, you break up for life.
Yeah, I really do hope they do big things with Liv Morgan down the road, but they didn't. They obviously played up to that on Raw during that match, the tag match with Natty Morgan versus the Kabuki Warriors. The only thing that for me is she held out for so long before attacking that it was just like, really?
Yeah.
But again, that's just, whatever. That's me being picky, I think. So I'm not going to count that. It was still fun to see them all get into it because that's what they're building to.
Yeah.
Yay, I'm up for it. It's just not the most entertaining thing they have going on. I'm still kind of wondering how we're going to get Beth Phoenix involved in this.
Honestly, I thought what was going to happen. Yeah, because here's what there's 3 weeks, 3 weeks or 4 weeks.
Now
what I
Raws till
so what I thought was going to happen was when the Riot Squad started coming out, I thought Liv would go after them and they'd all go to the back or whatever, and then they were going to beat the crap out of Natty, and Beth would come, but she didn't.
Well, the other thing too is Edge hadn't arrived yet. So I think it would be weird if she was there and he wasn't.
Well, guess what? They've done a hell of a lot of weird shit just for the sake of it too. That doesn't make any sense.
Right. Plus, they're trying to play up the whole that she's hurt because of the RKO. So I don't know.
Yes.
It'll be. I mean, my guess is next week we'll see it. If not, that it's got to. My guess is next week we'll see Natty come out and do something. Yeah, that's the other thing too.
I did hear that too. Yeah,
she's coming back to address Bayley on SmackDown.
Perfect.
And there was talk that she was getting reevaluated.
I heard I thought I heard that Paige had surgery again.
Oh yeah, she did. I think that was at the.
Well, keep rubbing it the right way there.
No, I think she got reevaluated and she had surgery. I think she was just in surgery again. I don't know. There was something about
like towards the end of last week.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's I don't know what she's gonna come out and do. I don't know. Is it her
bringing
somebody out? Well, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Who is Paige coming to bring out against Bayley? And is that going to be like Paige's deal? She's going to just be a manager now? Or is this a one-time deal thing?
Yeah, who knows?
It'll be. I mean, obviously, I think they're just doing anything for ratings right now. That's really.
Oh yeah. Well, they're in a. I think ultimately they're in a tough spot. They're concerned because even though they don't say anything, they're probably concerned about the virus business.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a concern right now, too. But I mean, I just think overall, though, like, I think for a long time, obviously, SmackDown never got off onto the right foot and got running smoothly like I think Fox was going to. No. I think there is higher expectations Fox had of them coming in. It didn't happen. And I really think Fox was like, yeah. This is going to be as big or bigger than Raw. Like now that they're on us, it's going to be big or bigger. And it's not. It's still just that B show. Raw will still get the more views. And I don't know. It's just, you got to think Fox is right now like, what did we just do?
Yeah. We threw a bunch of money down the toilet.
Like, is getting the XFL games too helping that much more? Like, I doubt it. So, I mean,
you know what? I will say this. I know a lot of people who really are watching the XFL and are loving it.
Oh yeah,
I haven't had a chance to watch even a game.
I saw like 5 minutes. It wasn't bad. I mean, it's football. It's football. If you like football, you'll like it. Give it a chance. But again, American football is just one of the things that I don't know why people are so like, like baseball has other things, people like there's minor league teams that can make a living, money off this. And I know there's some of that for like football, but you do hear some of the bigger leagues or like the minor, like NHL has the AHL is one of their minors and they do bigger arenas and certain places are on TV, stuff like that. Where like football is football. It's college then NFL. College is that other league. There's no semi-pro. There's no equal to the NFL. There's no like amateur. This is where they go to the NFL. That's called the CFL, and most of them never make it from the CFL to the NFL.
Only a handful.
Yeah, it's basically college, but I mean that's why too. Like it's just such a diehard thing and it does. I agree.
Yeah, being mic'd up is one of the cool things that they do, and I to be honest, I gotta think that the NFL is going to start thinking about doing that as well.
Yeah, and I think also we being in Minnesota, we don't have a team,
right?
So we don't hear much about it, other than unless you go seeking it out, as opposed to the places where they have teams, because then they'll what.
You talking about Impact Wrestling on Twitch, Dark Magic? You're talking about Twitch? I don't know who took over on Twitch. I know Impact got a new contract on cable, and I don't think they're broadcasting as much on Twitch as they were. And so I don't know if somebody just took the page over or if they've reallocated it for something else. But I know Impact's got, and I can't think of the network right off the top of my head. Do you know, Ace?
I don't. I do remember hearing that there was something,
but they got a good contract, and they got a good contract with a reasonable cable network that wasn't the Pursuit channel. That's only on 13% of the cable networks. Here's how I knew it was on Pursuit. Back when they got on there, because my brother lives in northern Minnesota, and they've got a weird deal where they got a community antenna, and that was one of the channels that they got. So I knew that it was on there, but I don't know.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. The other thing too that. I'm not sure about that. The other thing I know that happened too this week was Scott Steiner collapsed during the Impact taping this week, and was in the hospital.
Yeah, I guess he had a emergency heart surgery.
Yeah, so hopefully he'll be back and healthy by the time.
He's supposed to be here at Nerdin' Out.
Nerdin' Out show comes up.
The Nerdin' Con out here in Rochester, Minnesota. Yeah, he's supposed to be at that. So, hopefully things are okay. That's what steroids do.
I didn't say that out loud.
Who said what?
Nothing.
No, man, that's that. It's never good when you see that.
Access. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, in 2019, I think they signed a deal or were negotiating a deal. I don't remember the full on, but the thing with Impact is they're a real sleeper show. Not a lot of people give them the time of day, but
it's a good show.
It's a good show, and they have good talent. You had
Sammy Callahan's on there,
and Brian Cage. You got Tessa Blanchard, Jordan Grace. You had my favorite, Rosemary, and Sue Young. Like, those guys are great. There's a whole bunch of great talent over there that it's just hard to find it. You know what I mean? I think that's kind of your deal with that. Oh, nice.
Oh.
So that's the one you guys were with the cat, right? Am I right, Erica, Jason? Am I right? We talked about this, right? The guy dressed as a cat. Yeah, I agree. I really do like TJP. I don't know why I can never say those letters.
Because it's 3 letters and they're all together, and it's real hard.
Right. So now, if I'm correct, the Minnesota Wrecking Zoo masked when we were at First Wrestling. Remember the trio, and they were
the trio of masked fighters. Yeah,
I think I want to say that too there, because I believe they were on the Cat Guy and Super Thunder Frog. Remember that?
Oh yes, that was, and they had Thor's hammer.
Yeah,
in that match.
Yes, when we were on the cruise, they were telling me about it, and I was like, "I've never heard of this. I've got to check this out." And then, 5 minutes later, I was like, "Oh, wait a minute! Yeah, I did it. As we were there. Yeah, that. Which, by the way, I recently watched the Jimmy Havoc and Eric Cannon match from that show on YouTube, and that was pretty sick. So
it's totally sick, dude. And just think about that. We watch it from out through the window.
Yeah, No Japan Yeah, they didn't forget. New Japan needs to kind of just get a stick out their butt and be willing to work with more people and just like let things be in the past. But
Oh wow.
yeah, so yeah, that's where X, and I think that'll be a better move for them. You'll
Oh,
more of
definitely.
a casual fan, because that's the other thing. New Japan can be a little bit more difficult to watch because it's a different style. You got to be more of a hardcore fan to really
Right.
get it. If you're that casual fan, you're just going to be like, what? Because you got to sit and watch. You got to see the match unfold with
Mhm.
them. It's not going to be like spot off the bat. So,
Right.
yeah, Impact would be better for them probably on that way around. I can't remember. No, he was Marty doing anything with them? No, is Flip
Mark,
still
I,
back?
I don't know. I think Flip was doing stuff with New Japan, but more ROH than anything else. I can't remember. I don't think Marty's done anything with New Japan in a while. He and Nick Aldis are just monkeying around with the NWA stuff. Which, by the way, NWA Power did not have a show again tonight. They had their audition matches again. They had 2 tonight, which I have not watched because I can watch that anytime. But their show, the Circle Squared, where they give indie guys a chance to get a contract with NWA, and it's actually pretty cool. You can see who really belongs and who doesn't, and that's a neat little thing.
Yeah, whatever.
So
I never got mad when Santina won the women's WrestleMania Battle Royal, so I guess I'm not gonna. No,
or when I mean, look,
it's a different time. Like,
here's the thing. I mean, as a fan of wrestling, I think we all in this age, because Dark Magic, I am old, and I started watching wrestling when I was a young kid, and there was still all kinds of kayfabe, and I'll tell you what, I believed it all. Now we know that it's scripted, but we also know that as fans, as true fans, we're going to suspend belief on some of these things. And I absolutely love, like, Penelope Ford doing the intergender stuff. Absolutely fantastic. And Tessa Blanchard is every bit as good a wrestler as a lot of the guys that are out there. And so, given that, I mean, to me, I think it's absolutely fabulous that she won it. I think it's great she won it, and she couldn't have beat a better opponent than Sammy Callahan, in my opinion. If she would have, now, had she wrestled, yeah, it's all real to me. God, but had she wrestled Brian Cage, for example, and she won, I wouldn't have bought that so much.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
well, like intergender matches have been happening for quite a while
China beat Jericho, right?
Yeah, and it happened then. Yeah, and again, Beth Phoenix, China. Was there? I feel like there is one more. Who am I missing? That was in the Rumble. Yeah, right. No, Tessa is a great talent in the ring. Out of the ring has a different story. It is what it is, as they would say. But I mean, you just got to learn when to not talk. That's the thing. But in the intergender matches, you can watch a bunch of this stuff, and like some of the biggest talent have done it. Joey Ryan and Candice LeRae were a solid intergender tag team match tag team for a while. Yeah, just some great match. Orange Cassidy has some really great intergender matches with some really notable female talent. And again, wrestling is entertaining as well as athleticism. So why would we not want to have that? And Jason and Erica can say that too. We were on the cruise, so we got to see AEW actually do their first intergender match, and it was phenomenal. Penelope Cruz, Kip Sabian, Kenny Omega, and Riho.
Oh my God, no kidding.
Oh yeah, that would be an amazing match. Statlander versus Sammy Callahan.
Oh my God.
Yep, cutest tag team in the world.
Mhm.
I love that they still do the whole, hey, where's that cute girl that used to be around you with,
Or the blonde girl.
Yeah, the blonde girl. Yeah, David Starr, Mercedes Martinez. That'd be a phenomenal match. Check that
Oh
out.
my god.
Yeah, it's great. So I mean, I'm all for it. Show is show.
Yeah.
Entertaining is entertaining, as long as the physicality in the ring is still good and they're putting together a solid match. They're telling a story, and I can buy into it. Yeah, I'm all game, because that's what wrestling is. I don't care if it's a guy versus a girl, or if it's a men's division match, women's division match.
Oh, what was the one of, and I've seen this. You can find it on YouTube, where there's a fella from Japan that wrestles a broom, and holy crap, is it entertaining?
I'd imagine.
I mean,
we saw more out of Moppy.
Yeah, well, but that's the whole thing. It's like that's wrestling, and there's a true art to it that a guy like me who can't do any of it, and probably even when I was young couldn't. Appreciate it.
And the funny thing is, they never really, it was Sammy versus that for the men's heavyweight championship. She wins, and then
yeah, I'm sure it did.
Right, and then with AEW doing that dark match again that was on the cruise, you have to think that eventually we're going to see this become more normal with the other companies, and then that'll be interesting to see what WWE's move is.
I think it'll happen with AEW. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think we're going to see it within the year, at least one intergender match within the year in NXT. I think that'll be
maybe, but I got to tell you, I think it's going to happen first in AEW before it happens in NXT.
Oh, most definitely. I'm saying once they do it, though.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
When WWE finally is like, do we do it or not? I think eventually they would, because eventually it's going to be talked about like, hey, everybody's doing intergender matches except WWE. What's the problem, guys? And like I said, and then eventually we'll see it happen,
because I'll tell you, Penelope Ford's been getting involved in Kip Sabian's match, and Kip Sabian got involved in her tag match last Wednesday, which actually the amount that he was involved actually surprised the crap out of me.
Mm-hmm.
And initially I'm like, what the hell? But then I'm like, it's just opening that door even wider. That it's at some point somebody's going to have, and I can see Nyla Rose wrestling him and beating the snot out of him.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And Dynamite this last week was pretty solid, by the way.
Oh yeah,
and it was in Colorado. I was supposed to be there and I couldn't, unfortunately. But if you watch really closely, though, our good friends Erica and Jason,
I saw them a couple of times.
You more than likely did.
I thought if I remember correctly, you were on a couple of times, and I think one time very prominent you put the X up in my honor. No, I don't think you ever did that. But I think I honestly, because see, here's the thing: I was in Boston and I was out. I don't remember what we were doing, and I got late, and I'm like, I gotta watch this, and I started watching, and then I start falling asleep when I'm out working, and but I'm like, I'm pretty sure. Oh, well, you know what?
Yeah, no, it was. They were definitely had some good shots. So you should rewatch it. You'll see them.
Well, yeah. I saw him at least two times.
Yeah. Jason gave Hangman a beer, so that's something proud.
No. Did you drink it or did you carry it?
He better be drinking all those.
No, because when you saw, he started grabbing them all up and then carrying them. I was like, what the fuck, dude? Oh,
okay, all right.
Full beer, like full gear. Nice, I love it. Perfect.
That was a cool show. Like first of all, the matches were cool. It was great to see Colt Cabana make his Dynamite debut.
Yes, sir, it was.
SCU versus the Dark Order. Yeah, obviously this opened the show, so I think a lot of people are like, "Woo, Matt Hardy's coming!"
I thought he was going to come out right away.
And it didn't happen. You got to let it warm up before you can
simmer. Let it simmer.
Big Swole versus Leva Bates with Peter Avalon. Swole wins. I'm not on the Swole train. Sorry. Very talented, but I ain't on it. I would have much rather seen Leva Bates get that win.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. By the way, and it's funny that you say Bryce Remsburg because Mask was actually talking about Bryce. I think it was when you were here dropping off my awesome.
Oh, that's right. We were talking. Yeah.
Orange Cassidy shirt.
Yeah. Why aren't you wearing it?
It's because I wore it to the Timberwolves game on Sunday, so it's dirty right now. Wore it to the basketball game because that's where you wear wrestling shirts. You didn't know that, Mask? It's how we identify each other in public. You know, you see the shirt and like, all right. I'm excited to see that. When we were talking about, sorry, I got lost with my train of thought for a minute, but we were talking about the referees and we were talking about Aubrey, how obviously she is very much over. And I'm reading her comment. That's why I don't.
Yeah, I'll pop it up when I get a chance, man.
See, that's the thing. Like Bryce is way more of a character ref, I guess you could say. Like you see a lot, you go to these indie shows, the referees are there, they do their job. Like we were saying, Aubrey for AEW is obviously over. Like it's ridiculous how over she is. She's bigger than some of the female actual talent as a referee. So that's awesome. But Bryce has always been. So I saw Bryce Rumsford for the first time at WrestleMania 29 weekend in New York at WrestleCon at Kaiju Big Battle. It was if you don't know what Kaiju Big Battle is, by the way, they do shows. I'm not really sure where. I think it's like the East Coast. And then they always usually do one wherever Mania is that weekend. It's how do I explain this, Masked? It's like comic booky, like wrestling. Like they put like cardboard like buildings that they make.
Is that the one where the guy wrestled with the fork?
Probably like the big guy in the waffle outfit.
Yeah.
Like the dust bunny, like the little banana guys, the little whatever they're called. Then you got the doctor. What is it? Evil Cube or the villain's a guy who wears his head's a cube and he's evil. Anyways, so we go to that show. First of all, it's an amazing show, Kaiju Big Battle. Definitely check it out. Look online. You'll see what I'm talking about. It will make way more sense. I believe they worked very closely with CZW as well, at least at these shows they did, because we went to CZW. That show ended. Half hour later, we went back in for the Kaiju Big Battle show. So Bryce was the referee that night. And the thing he was doing that night is there in certain matches, he was the babyface Bryce. And they would always, Bryce is your referee. And he's in there, hey. And then certain matches, it was evil Bryce, his twin brother, which was him with a big, he put the big mustache on. And he's Evil Bryce. And Evil Bryce had a keyboard that he would bring in and play in the ring. And it was the most entertaining thing. He interacted with the crowd. I think I gave him a hug and a pat on his back because the bad guys were being mean to babyface Bryce. I then seen him too at WrestleMania 30 at that Kaiju Big Battle show and got to talk to him for a little bit. The same night is where I also met Drew Gulak. If you look up PBI guys WrestleMania 30 on YouTube, I think they're still up. We have video of us going to the Kaiju show and literally like have Drew Gulak like talking shit to me on my camera, like in a good way. We were just messing around. So yes, I bought the Bryce is Right shirt at that show at WrestleMania. So check him out online because the dude is hilarious. Like he does all these. He did a match with Orange Cassidy, Cole Cabana. I think I told you about this. You can find on YouTube at some like beer festival. And the first part of the match is them passing like a beer around and just drinking it. And like at one point they go to reach it and he's drinking it in the corner or something. Like if you want to watch really good comedy, hilarious stuff, he's going to be involved. Check it out. And it's cool to see that he's on Dynamite and got that hard work's pays off. So that was a really long rant. But the guy is super hilarious, and I feel like he is not getting a big enough pop or credit at these AEW shows, because I feel like a lot of people don't know and they got to see it.
And what's going to happen is they're going to have to find a way for him to use that, and I'm sure they will, because I think AEW is really good at finding things that people are good at and really putting a spotlight on it. So I would say eventually they'll find a spot for him.
Yeah, so just awesome that he was a part of that. You also had Pac versus Chuck Taylor, best friends. Makes you really feel like Pac and Orange Cassidy aren't done.
I don't think they are.
I thought that was going to be done, and I really thought we were going to see Pac go after Moxley.
I think Orange Cassidy's ultimately going to beat him.
I think so too. But you know what I've noticed now? I
think it'll be the beer man from Section 32.
That too. Because I'm totally. This is how you can tell I'm exhausted. We've gotten so conditioned by WWE doing the no rematches and kind of just running things into like one or two things that I just didn't expect that they were carrying feuds from Revolution on.
Yeah,
I don't know why. I thought for some reason that it just a lot of these storylines were going to end and we were just going to go into Double or Nothing with new stuff. I'm glad I'm wrong, because again, I think we're going to see more stuff for Pac and Orange Cassidy. Like you said, Orange Cassidy, I think will get that win that will kind of cement him as a singles guy. And I think we're going to get way more stuff from Inner Circle, Jericho, and Moxley, and I'm good for that. And obviously MJF and Cody isn't done. Like Cody will still get the last win in this whole thing. So that's why I said, like, yeah, man, like you said, AEW is really, really doing some good stuff.
And speaking of Dark Magician's quote here, we talk about a little bit at the start. Ultimately, I think everybody's money is on Matt Hardy showing up at AEW. Now, the thing is, does he carry on with the broken Matt Hardy there? Or does he kind of fine-tune it a little bit to be part of the Dark Order, to be the ultimate? It's not ultimate, is it? It's whatever the hell.
The exalted one?
The exalted leader? Yeah. I mean, it's there's just so much that goes on with AEW right now that is entertaining to me. And that I don't even, I mean, honestly, I don't feel like I have to follow it, because I know if I tune in, I know right where I left off.
Yeah.
They're doing a good job of it with the men. And the women,
not so much. Needs help, but they're doing, they're really beefing up the tag team division. So you're not just seeing Young Bucks,
right?
Lucha Bros, Pride and Powerful. Like we haven't seen Private Party in a little bit. So they come back. That's going to be fresh. Jungle Express comes back, that'll be fresh. But then you got QT and Dustin now as a tag team. You've got Sean Spears is searching for a partner. You know what I mean? And then now you're also seeing more trios teams popping up, like the Death Triangle. So I mean, you're gonna see the tag team division still excel. You're going to see this trios division finally get like a belt and that become a thing. And then really all that is left is to solidify your women's division. Make it something. Like you look back at Dynamite this last week, the only women's match was Big Swole and Leva Bates.
Yeah.
So Big Swole has really nothing going on. And then Leva Bates is just a jobber. Yeah. And I hate to say that because I do like Leva Bates.
Yeah.
And she's a great talent. And I love Peter Avalon. I think the librarian gimmick's hilarious.
It is. They don't use it enough.
No, I think they should be used. I like that she's like secretly into video games and stuff, and he's like doing it. Like it really is a great thing they're doing. It's a shame people don't like it as much as they should.
No, but I'll go back a little bit to that last comment though about Matt Hardy. So we have some people that we know are going to come over. We think we assume are going to come over. Matt Hardy's one of them. We still think Luke Harper's going to come over, right?
Mm-hmm.
We think that the Revival, once their contract is up, is going to come over. I mean, there's a real backlog of male talent that's going to come over to AEW, we think. And at some point, we think Marty will show up as well, right?
I think Marty will show up. I think we'll even see maybe a little bit of crossover with NWA and ROH. And honestly, from what it sounds like, is Ricochet wants to go back to NXT. Depending on how they handle that whole situation, like in another year or two, that could be someone that we see also joining the ranks of AEW. So, I don't know. Now the question is, how do we see like all these people? Luke Harper obviously has been talked about. Still haven't seen him.
Yeah,
maybe.
But now here's the reason that I brought all of that up, because we were talking about the women's division a little bit. I don't know. I mean, the women's division is in such flux that even if there is somebody that's online to come in, I don't know if there's anything going on that would say to a female talent, hey, I got to be over there. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because at this point, if you're a female talent in wrestling, I don't know that AEW is the best spot for you to be. You know, I think is NXT the best spot for a female talent.
Oh yeah, I think for sure right now it is. I also think they need to be careful though, just because of
Lance Archer. Yeah, and Lance Archer, by the way, had a cup of coffee with his name on it in BTE this week. If you didn't see that,
oh nice. Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, I mean it just makes so much sense for Matt Hardy to go to AEW. It'd be a cool way for him to, like, if he went there and ended the career, it would be awesome. Yeah. Not that he couldn't go anywhere else, but I think for what he's capable of, and AEW is going to make that pitch if they haven't already, and this isn't already a done deal, and it's just waiting. That, I mean, you're going to get to come in and teach,
which he was already doing with WWE, right?
But now they're going to really let him have that role.
Yeah.
And then, have that freedom to kind of be like, you know, and there's a lot they're going to learn as a whole of a company about not just teaching the talent wrestling, but just production. From everything he's learned from all the companies he's been.
Oh, yeah.
That Final Deletion stuff was him. He did all of that.
Right.
That was all him. So, I mean, and it came off cheesy and at times cringy, but
perfect.
Also the coolest, like, greatest, you know, thing ever. Like, it was just to the point that they even finally got Vince to do one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I heard somewhere else too that one of the reasons that they broke up Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy was because the two of them kept pitching shit to Vince McMahon, and he didn't want to do it.
Yeah, no.
And they just got sick of him trying to pitch stuff to him, and they just break them up. I don't want to hear this shit anymore.
Yeah, you know,
it's too bad because they're clearly both awesome,
and they are, and that's someone else that if WWE doesn't be careful, he'll eventually leave, and he can go there and become an even bigger star, and that's Bray Wyatt. Which, and that's the thing, though. That's kind of how WCW kind of did what they did.
Yeah,
those guys who still were hot talents and could be someone. Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, not. I want to say not Hogan, but let's be honest. When NWO was going on, he wasn't the best in-ring competitor at that time, but he never really was because he wasn't the best wrestler. But he was still able to pull off what he did. But he was just such a massive heel. You know. Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. It was just I don't know. It'll be AEW is gonna be really cool to see like another year from now, just where they're at, what the divisions look like, who ended up coming, and like in the next like 2 or 3 years, as you see people maybe leaving WWE, who's gonna go over there, and even vice versa. Eventually, we're gonna have a day where we're gonna see someone that was an original AEW star not be happy and eventually leave, and WWE snap them up. So I mean, eventually it's gonna happen. But you'd be foolish to think it won't. It's all business at the end of the day. So yeah.
And speaking of, I want to go back to one thing, and it's just a minor little thing. But when we go back to the pay-per-view for AEW a couple of weeks ago, when Jack Swagger had his first match, or Jack Hager, or whatever he's called, it's so hard. my old brain. But when he did that kind of triangle shoulder choke thing, it is the exact same thing that Edge used on Monday night against MVP. The second time we picked him up, I thought was, to be honest, I thought it was a little bit chintzy.
Yeah,
but I mean, that's you got to be watching really close to see that stuff.
Yeah, and there's always going to be these little back and forths. You know, we saw Cody do the RKO at Revolution, and then we see whatever they're doing. And I mean, just even production wise, you know, we see AEW doing this picture in picture, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, wait a minute, that's a good idea. We should be doing picture in picture now. And you know, but that's again,
it's all marketing.
Yeah, but right now, again, this is AEW is still, like we said, they're still in infancy stage. They're still very new. There's still a lot of things to get brushed up on. There's still a lot of things to do. And so, like, again, in a year or two, when they really are going, it's going to be interesting to see how it's going, because they're going to force each other, like AEW and WWE,
to be better.
And that's all we want as wrestling fans. So, I mean, the next few years in the business of wrestling are going to be very exciting.
So I want two things. I want better wrestling and better shows, but I also want more 5X shirts available.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
Sorry,
two things.
Yeah. So. That was an interesting thing about Beyond Wrestling. Like, that's the other thing, like Beyond Wrestling, First Wrestling. Like, there's a lot of like bigger indie companies that we saw a lot of these AEW or AEW talent come from.
And a lot of them are still going and doing shows for them.
Yeah, and that would be 10 year into it feels like eventually someday that would be the thing they do is AEW is going to go back to one of these indie companies that they've gotten so many of their wrestlers from, and that's going to become the training grounds. I mean, if you watch, you brought it up earlier. Excuse me, I'm very burpy tonight. Anyways,
pro show, man. It's a pro show. Quit it.
I know. You brought up the FCW documentary that came out your chamber, which if you haven't watched it, definitely watch it. Very, very, very cool documentary. Very cool to hear those stories. I finished watching it today, and I'll even say, like, total surprise, no clue that they were even going to mention Wes in that whole thing.
Oh.
Which I don't know if you saw it, but they do.
I didn't watch the whole thing either.
They get to a point where they talk about all the second generation wrestlers that have been there. Mm-hmm. And they talk about some specifically, and Wes was one of them. So, and if in case you're watching and don't know why that's anything of importance, I also do a show, Briscoe and Big A Show, with Wes Briscoe. So it's just fun to see that they brought that up. Obviously, Jerry said some things. They showed some cool footage of him in FCW. And I mean, like, he also got the Dr. Tom Pritchard being like, Wes was one of my favorites. I mean, that's a pretty high praise. If you have that man saying you're one of his favorites. So that's very cool.
That's a good question. We've talked about this many, many times.
The match that could have been, but just wasn't.
I mean, so the problem right now is, I mean, from a physical standpoint, I think it'd be a great match. My problem right now is that they've made Bobby Lashley into such a clown and Brock such a beast that I don't know if anybody would say, oh my God, because they'd have to do so much work, I think, in order to build Bobby Lashley back up to the point where he could actually be viewed as on the same level as Brock, or even close enough.
Because I feel like he's a better heel too.
Oh yeah.
So I don't like it. Cause there's just no way to make Brock a face at this point, I guess.
Well, the only, no, I will say that I will say this: if they turn it around, so we all know that Drew McIntyre is going to win at WrestleMania.
Got to,
right? And we also know that Brock expressed how much fun he had working with R-Truth.
True.
Now, it's entirely possible that on Brock's trail into the sunset, that maybe he does become a face and does fun stuff with R-Truth, and then I could see that happening.
Yeah, and we talked about that. Yeah, there's that chance, but I feel like that's got to be a title match, him and Lashley. Just that's too. That's
yeah.
I mean, you got Vince McMahon blowing loads for that match right there. Dude, look how big they are.
The two biggest guys ever.
So it's just again, that was something that could have happened a while ago, or when Lashley first came back, they should have
done that right away.
Did it off
right away. Yeah. Well, yeah, because Rusev's in seriously, what a mess. What a mess those guys have, right? They signed his wife to a 5-year contract, and he has 0 contract. And his wife is annoying.
Awful. Again, though, another guy who sooner than later may end up popping up on AEW, which it would be a happy Rusev day for all then. So he probably would be named Rusev, though, because is that his real name, or is that just the gimmick?
I can't remember.
They definitely probably own the trademark Rusev, though, so you can do that.
Maybe it could be Shmusev Day.
Ooh.
Well, I am Shmusev. This was always my name, along with fake Bulgarian accent. I just think about it though. Like so let's say he does. They don't come to contract terms, and he's not on TV. And he's not going to be, And so let's say they don't come to terms, and he jumps and he goes to AEW. Then what do they do with Lana? What do they do with her? Do they just take her off for good? She ain't on there now.
I mean,
They're certainly not going to have her wrestle because she sucks as a wrestler.
Yeah, I don't understand the purpose of.
And granted, I say that with all due respect because I can't do it. She's a better wrestler than me, but
I don't know what they have planned as far as what they're going to do with Lana. I almost feel like they just kept her around for reality to show reasons.
Yeah.
I mean, like she's kind of the one that hey, we got this new show on E. We're going to put you on it. Cause them hell.
Yeah.
Or Cause them hell because those aren't even real. They're obviously all scripted shows. So like that's the thing. It's like you're scripting a reality wrestling series. Like,
dude, but all of that reality stuff is scripted.
I mean, it is, but it's like
I told you about
something that's already scripted, but tries to pretend to be real.
One of the first reality shows was a show called The Restaurant, in which celebrity chef Rocco DiSpirito from New York City was trying to run this restaurant and had a financier. All right, and
here's the deal. I had this conversation with somebody else this week that was saying that, like, oh, he shouldn't even be on Mania. John Cena's not officially retired. He just said, yeah, I'm not wrestling anymore right now.
Gonna make some movies.
He's the guy that he's still at an age that he can wrestle. He's still in shape that he can go. He's still that attraction. He will always be in Vince's back pocket when ratings needed, if a big event needed, kind of like what Undertaker's been doing with the Saudi shows. Cena's always going to be in the back pocket. So, after doing movies for a few years, hey, man, you want to come back for like 6 months? Yeah, all right, come out. Like, he's that guy.
Yeah.
Maybe it won't be 6 months, but he's always going to be around. Like, at least once a year, you're going to see him on WWE programming, and more than likely, at least one WWE pay-per-view. Maybe not. I don't know. But he's always going to be around.
And here's that's right. She's filming with Bruce Willis. That's right. I saw that. Here's the other thing about Kid Nation. Yeah. Here's the other. God, that was the worst. Here's the other thing about Cena and the Fiend. It's a built-in storyline because what they're saying is that the Fiend didn't start going down this path of weirdness until he lost to Cena.
Oh, is that where they're going?
Yeah, and they're taking it back to that match, and it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect.
That is really good. And to be honest, they've done enough to kind of be like, the Fiend is awesome. Now it's like kind of a joke of a gimmick that you need this to get it back on track. If you're going to get Bray Wyatt back on track, you need this match. And the setup already was perfect.
Yeah.
Words spoken, just cut a promo, lights go out, come back on. He just behind you and points. Again, the tip of the hat was a little over exaggerated.
Well,
but again,
at least he wasn't Goldberg.
You said it was perfect.
At least he wasn't Goldberg. Oldberg. Whatever. At least he wasn't that guy.
But in the same, token for Monday Night Raw, AJ Styles and Undertaker. This is with the promo that AJ cut in the ring on Monday. This seems like it is headed towards being a career on the line match.
Yeah.
Just constantly pointing out his career last night on that promo, and then calling him Mark, then bringing up Michelle McCool. This really feels like it's because then it wasn't, I'm going to kill you. I fully think next week at this contract signing, AJ is going to say, hey, wait. We'll do this, but I want your career on the line.
Yeah. And
this will hopefully be it for the Undertaker, which I feel bad saying because I've loved him since he debuted, and it's a legendary figure. But it's also bro, at this point, I don't want to see you keep going because they're not all winners.
So, yeah, I think it's the right choice though, because out of anybody that's on a roster right now, I think AJ's the one that can make him look the best.
100%.
I think AJ's size is enough that Taker can do some of the things with him that he needs to do. He's not too big. Goldberg was too big. Goldberg was I don't know. Goldberg's another piece of work that we can talk about or not. But
everybody's saying that. He said Michelle McCool, and the last time they talked about his real name, Mark McCool, was American Badass. My only thing is, he already showed up twice now doing the dead man stuff, doing True Taker, and he's going to go out as True Taker.
Yeah.
Have to. That's what that character is. He had that little bit where he was the badass, but he's already had these 2 appearances as Taker that it'd be weird if he comes out to this contract signing on a motorcycle and all of a sudden was like, hey, I know last week I came out and the lights were gone and I kind of just sneaked in and I choked your slammy guys and the lights were off and I disappeared. Ooh. But tonight I got one to bring my bike out, there's
a lot of people are talking about
a lot of people now, because the thing is, people freaked out when AJ said Mark and brought up Michelle McCool, because the last time that had happened, it wasn't Michelle McCool, it was Sarah at the time. And it was during that American Badass gimmick. And that was the last time he had a feud. I don't remember who it was. It might have been DDP. It might have been Triple H or somebody, where they were referring to him as Mark. And they were talking about that. Ken Shamrock.
Ken Shamrock was just on something recently. What wasn't he? What was he on? Was he on Impact?
Should have been happy, because from what I heard at one point, he was begging anybody to hire him. He was I'll come back and do a match. No. No. Dear God, no more Limp Bizkit playing at WrestleMania.
Oh, come on, they do it for a biscuit.
No, they did it for the nookie. That's why they did it, Jay. I'm not on board with the badass. I don't think it's gonna happen. And I do think, because he brought out the whole losing the Roman Reigns and putting the coat and the hat, and it was this nice moment again, that all that promo did from AJ last night was point out that I'm going to end your career.
Yeah.
And when's the last time WWE's done career on the line?
A real one. The last
one they haven't done it in years.
Real one was Ric Flair, wasn't it?
No, it would have been Michaels then after that.
Oh yeah.
But have they done one since that? I
don't think so.
I'm pretty sure they have to some point. It just probably wasn't as high profiled.
They used to do, back in the old days, they used to do Loser Leaves Town.
Yeah.
All the time. But it worked real good in the territories, because you could say Loser Leaves Town. Okay, well, I was going to leave anyway.
You're right. I know.
And then you'd be gone 6-8 months, maybe a year. And then you could always come back and nobody would remember.
Right. Yeah. I fully think that, and maybe I'm just hoping. I have no real insight to what they're thinking, but it just feels like that's how this is going to get billed. I feel like McCool's going to be involved. And obviously, because what was it? She was just out on Twitter or something complaining about Wednesday, and they didn't reference her or whatever, or they never bring her back for anything, even though they bring her husband back all the time. Basically bitching, and then he said something, and all of a sudden she's now in this storyline. But again, I feel like this has to be the end. And this is the good way to go out. And then it finally sets up because they want to put him in the Hall of Fame.
Oh God, yeah. They put him in the Hall of Fame the next night.
Yeah, it'll set up for Hall of Fame next year in LA.
I think the other part of it is too that people don't realize. I mean, it's like he's at the point where he's going to get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to get Sting hurt, which I'm glad that talk didn't come to fruition where there's talk about him and Sting having a match. I'm glad because you got guys, somebody's going to get hurt and you don't want that. And Taker's to the point like that match with Brock that he lost, right? I mean, the story was that he actually got hurt.
No, you mean the streak?
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely got it.
I mean, he was going to lose, but he also got hurt. And I think part of the deal was that you don't want him to get hurt. He doesn't have to be in the ring anymore, but he can still do things a la Hogan or a la Flair, and they'll still be meaningful. But he just doesn't have to do the in-ring anymore, which I think I don't think anybody that is a fan of his really want him to do anymore.
Mm-hmm.
There's nobody I want to see him wrestle.
No, not at all. And at this point, it's time. It's time for that to be done. I'd almost be cool with him like being done, and then if he made like another appearance on Raw, he actually comes out as like Mark Calloway. Yay! Thank you, everybody. It was fun. I don't know. All I know is the talk of retiring has been going since WrestleMania 30 because obviously, the streak broke. He's done.
Yeah.
It hasn't. We're now at what? This is 35, 36? I don't even remember what WrestleMania number we're at.
Long.
I think it's like 36 or something. Yeah. So, I'm ready for it to be done. I hate to say it because he's one of my favorites, but it's, you don't want to look back and be like, man, remember all those years I was scared of him and he did all this cool stuff.
Oh yeah.
Then he like didn't retire when he should have, and then it was just sad. You know what I mean? Like it's yeah.
Well, absolutely, but this is a problem of their own doing, because Jason, they continually whenever there's a problem, whenever they're scared, they always go to the well with legends. Always. Yeah. They don't have, and this is a problem because they don't want another Austin. They don't want another Rock. They don't want anybody else, another Cena that's bigger than the business, that's bigger than them, because then they don't have control over them. They want to have control over everybody, and that's why it's not going to happen. That's why they're in the mess that they're in.
Very much true. But also, you got to wonder, too, though, at least in this circumstance, Taker very much usually has a say in his Mania opponent.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, I kind of, not saying Ricochet isn't up to that standard. I think Ricochet is too athletic for him.
Oh, God, yeah.
His pace is too fast, where AJ can kind of slow it down and go, but then still make Taker look, tough. No, and that's just it. That's why you need people like Orton and Edge. As much as I'm excited and invested in this, this very well could have been two huge legends giving two younger guys big chances at Mania. You could have had, Edge go against, I don't know. You could have had him and like Buddy Murphy. You could have had him and Barrett. You could have had him and any heel that's kind of just newer right now. You could have had Orton and Aleister Black is doing great, but they haven't given him an actual thing that's going right in his name. Like Black and Orton at Mania would have been a great match and a great way to like really give him that bump up. So I agree. As far as Taker and AJ though, I just really feel like this was Taker's call, and it was, I don't know. I never worked with him. I want to work with him.
Well, it's the same thing as I believe when the streak was over. I think it was his choice that it was Brock.
Yeah.
Right?
I really no.
I thought it was.
No, I think I think he was just. I don't think any of that one was actually to him. That was all Vince. Brock is Vince. That's all. The morning of is when Vince made that decision. No one knew till that morning. Or was it the night before? I think it was that morning. I think they in the stuff that's been like documented, they've said that it was like that morning. Taker was like, yeah, that's when I found out. I think he said that on the Austin podcast. Yeah, Adam Cole, I mean, it's he's still so hot in NXT and still kind of involved from losing that title. But I feel like this time next year, Adam Cole's going to have a really big role going into WrestleMania.
He's so good in that the whole Undisputed Era. I love the whole.
And that's a faction they could honestly just bring up from.
Yeah.
They've done that. They've brought in the Wyatt family. They've brought in, like New Day all got their footing together and then formed when they got there to the main roster. But you could bring that whole faction in and just let it go. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Chihuahua, buddy.
Yeah, I mean that's just it too. There's a lot of it, but they've openly said that Vince McMahon doesn't watch wrestling. He has no idea what's going on outside of his company. And he's just weird. He has a different view, obviously.
Yeah. He has a view from the 80s.
Yeah, he's super old school. He still holds on to some of that when it comes to booking. And
toilet humor.
And it's unfortunate, but that's why you see the big difference between WWE main roster, WWE NXT. And that's why it's interesting to see that we're seeing main rosters now openly and willingly go back to NXT and being like, let me go there and be used to my potential. Finn Balor is definitely doing that. Kevin Owens has been open about, he wouldn't be mad if he went back there. I think the thing with that though is I think now that AEW is thing, and I think as AEW keeps to grow, and will it ever get to WWE? Who knows? But will it ever get to the point that it's bigger? It will happen, and then that's where, is NXT still doing what they're doing, or they become bigger?
Right.
Because then it's going to be, do I go back to NXT and just be on USA Network and do what they're doing? Or do I go on AEW where that is the main show for them?
Yeah.
It's not an A, B, or C show. It's just the main show and have more creative control, have fun, be on the road, have a way better schedule as far as what you would have if you're on WWE. I don't know. It's going to be, like I said, the next few years in wrestling is going to be really interesting to see how this all ends up shaking down.
And I'll tell you, I mean, as far as Otis and Keith Lee, I agree with you. It'd be a good match. It's two behemoths, but I just don't. I mean, at this point, I don't think they want to break up Otis from Tucker. And
they haven't done anything yet.
No, but the thing is, it's like you and I talked about this, last week or a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, it's clear that Otis is the big star.
Mm-hmm.
But I just, they don't. I mean, I don't feel like he can go off on his own. He needs to have that kind of crutch that Tucker is to be his buddy to sort of prop him up.
Well, he's the talker of the two,
right?
Otis says what Otis says, but Tucker is the one that's actually giving you your promo. He's the one that, like Otis said, when we get to the ring, we're going to, I don't know how those two will make it not being together. I think Otis will be fine just because he's over.
Yeah.
Obviously. But I think that would really hurt Tucker. Not saying that this isn't going to happen, and it may very well happen. And honestly, by the time Keith Lee gets up there, not that it's going to take a long time, but I don't see it happening in the next 3 to 6 months because he's still pretty new on the NXT roster, and I think they still want him to kind of get a little bit more under his belt there. Plus, it's hard to find tag teams that can be that well balanced as far as in ring and on screen. Right. You know what I mean? Sometimes just a team works. Perfect example would be Enze and Big Cass.
Right.
You broke it up and it was done. for both was over. Cass obviously did everything in ring, and Enzo just talked a lot, but it worked when it was together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
Sorry.
But yeah, it's I don't know. Mania is going to be very interesting. Mania is going to be very long. It sounds like there was rumors of going to a 2-day Mania. I love it when you do that. Okay. Yeah, there talks about eventually Mania is going to be 2 days long, which would be. I mean, they've already had to change things. Like what Hall of Fame's on Thursday this year. Not sure what happens on Friday. Saturday would be Takeover. Sunday is like Hall of Fame Thursday, Friday move Takeover to Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday, like part 1, part 2 WrestleMania. I don't know. Does it need to be that long that we can't contain it in one show and it has to be 2 days?
See, you know what? I remember the first
one. Showcase what your best is.
I remember the first one. The first one was just right.
Mm-hmm.
The first one, and this is a key that I think sometimes they don't think about. There's nothing wrong with doing a show and leaving people wanting more. But they don't seem to do that now. They seem to want to have everybody and everything. I mean, like you said, there's going to be 6 pre-show matches. Why? They don't use them to sell the show anymore.
I know. That's
it's like, oh, we got to get somebody paid, basically.
See, that's the funny thing. Instead of going like, oh man, we don't have a free pre-show people are watching that, we have to show good action because we want them to can call and buy the $80 pay-per-view in HD. And now it's hey, it's on our own network. We can just do shit all day. It's a day. It's crazy. Yeah, bro. Drew breaking Rowan's cage was both hilarious and sad because it was officially the end of what anything of Eric Rowan had going on.
Yeah, but you know what though? Come on, let's be honest. It was the dumbest thing.
Oh, no, it was dumb, but I mean, like, that was just insult to injury for poor Rowan. Like, backstage, he's just got to be like,
well, you know what? Who knows? Maybe that's good.
Maybe
he gets something real in his case this time.
Well, that's the other thing. When he came out on Raw, they still didn't say anything about what was in it.
I know.
That was the point that I was like, wait, so maybe that wasn't really the reveal. Maybe like tonight it'll actually be something. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I mean, obviously it's over. I don't see it going anywhere. Again. Yeah, they would make like 2 just very long shows. Again, 2 all-day shows, all day Saturday and Sunday, WrestleMania. Yeah, I mean, you can do it in 2 days and do it right, like Wrestle Kingdom, but that ain't what they do. It's just over pushing the stuff.
Yeah.
That's the other thing too, man. What happened to back in the day where you had to earn your spot on the big show? Now it's just, we got to try to get everybody on it.
Yeah.
Hey, some people aren't getting that Mania payday. They should have worked harder. Try again next year.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean we need to have 7 hours.
Yeah.
Just doesn't. So
that's the way it is.
Yeah. I mean, it's wrestling. It's WrestleMania. But again, first of all, I like the Rhea Ripley thing they did where she goes to the stadium. I'm excited to see what they do with the stadium. If that pirate ship isn't involved in the set, I don't know what they're doing.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's WrestleMania is always a great time. So I'm always excited for the show. NXT is going to have a great show. I'll watch the Hall of Fame just to see if they do it like they did last year. I hope they don't.
Man, last year was a shame.
I just didn't enjoy the ring. Like, I missed the stage. I miss the king. It doesn't have to be king, but I miss having a host it being on stage. Plus, you have that big stage and you have it just chock full with talent on the front rows. Yeah. Ain't no random dude having a chance to get into that stage. Right. Like dude was able to do and almost kill Bret Hart. So yeah, that'll be awesome. Plus, I always play the drinking game when I watch the Hall of Fame of how many times Wes Briscoe actually makes it on camera. And every time he does, I take a shot, just because it's funny, because he always just looks like he's just like there. Yeah, Riddick Moss, man.
He's the holder of the 25/7 369 7-Eleven belt, and now apparently there are different rules where people don't chase his ass all over the place.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I don't mind it.
It's okay.
And he's doing some good. It's a nice way to break him in.
Yeah,
Minnesota boy, first of all, also.
Oh, I didn't know.
In case you didn't know that, from Minnesota, went to the U of M. And I only know this because the last time I went to NXT, which they have been back since, and I didn't go, he came out and cut a big promo of, I'm from Minnesota, and I'm from this town, and like his family's there, and they're cheering. They're like, yay. And then I went to the U of M. I'm a Gopher. Yay. Couple more things, and then finally, and then I left Minnesota because I hate it. And you know, it was great. It was classic.
That's awesome.
It was a classic heel. That same night, Paul Ellering's daughter.
Oh yeah,
they're from Minnesota as well. Was at the show, and Paul actually walked her to the ring that night, and was cool. So that was cool too. That was a cool NXT show that I randomly went to in St. Paul, Minnesota. So yeah. Awesome. Again, first of all, NXT is awesome. It'd be cool to see AEW in the next few years be able to get their own developmental area. Who knows if it happens? And if you haven't, watch that FCW documentary. It really was. I don't know how much. Like, how far did you get into it?
I got honestly, I got about. I would say about 20 minutes or so, and then I fell asleep.
Yeah, you got like not even a quarter. It's like an hour and 20 minutes long. But it really does go in detail of how it all started.
Yeah, and that part I thought was absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, and it's really cool to see, because then they go into how it all ended. And it ended because of NXT.
Yeah.
Performance Center. Again, so it's really cool to watch. It's really cool to see, because you really do get great footage of a lot of the major superstars today, you know what I mean? And when they were just starting.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a lot of video on there of like the talent doing the promo class with Dusty.
Yeah.
At the gym, you know what I mean?
The one that I thought was pretty cool was Corey Graves. They had him doing a promo, and he goes, "What? I'm doing a promo?" And he didn't even they were like recording him. He didn't even know. And he says, "Oh, when do I do the promo?" He says, "When you're through being blowed up."
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it was just, I loved it. I loved what I saw, and then I fell asleep. So
yeah, it was cool. It was funny because they did the second generation stuff. They mentioned Wes, which was cool. I talked to him today. He didn't even know that was going on. He's like, "What? I was on the network." He just doesn't pay attention to that kind of stuff. He's like, "Huh, I'm gonna check it out." But like, it was really funny because then they go into Steamboat's kid right after that, and like was just, I don't know why, but they made it really sad because it like didn't work out. He got hurt and he could never get over being in his father's shadow. Just seemed really unnecessary that you pointed out the fact that Ricky the Dragon Steamboat's son couldn't cut it with WWE. Really what that was. It was really weird. But yeah, man, it's cool. Check it out. All
right, buddy.
Gonna take them all on.
Well, you know what? Sometimes you got to have a little chaos, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
You got to have a little anarchy in the ring. Clean it all out, burn it all down, start it over. Well, my friend, you got anything coming up this week? You and Wes got another show, or are you going to be off a little bit?
Actually, no. I think we are doing a show on Thursday. We were trying to get a guest on this week. I just don't know if it will work out. It might actually get pushed back now just because the week didn't work out, but we were trying to get Chavo.
Oh, nice.
So we're still getting that done. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we'll have something out with Chavo. We just did the show last week. It is on our YouTube, Briscoe and Big A show. Check it out. Hear the story of what happened with Sandman at the Atomic Wrestling anniversary show a few weeks back. Hear full details of the whole altercation. Also in that, you can also hear that the altercation that almost came to blows was with Wes. So he goes into detail about literally almost having to go to blows with Sandman backstage. So get that full story. Plus, on top of that, again, We're going to have another episode this week. We're going to actually talk about the FCW documentary, going to talk about, his little part on there. And we'll share some stories that he has from FCW as well. A little known fact, him and Xavier Woods were actually FCW tag team champions together for a show. Yeah, and it's actually a cool moment because when they did it, I think it was on TV for FCW. I don't know if those are out anywhere. If WWE doesn't put them on the network after that documentary, they're crazy. But yeah, it was cool too because then, obviously Dusty was still around, so Jerry was there, so he sent Jerry out. So there's like a cool picture.
Oh wow,
scene of Wes, Jerry in the middle, holding him and Xavier's arms up with the belts.
Cool.
Yeah, it's just cool, man. That's history. That's all history that is whatever. So we'll get in depth on that and his times at FCW this week. So and then he's heading out to Costa Rica for a surf trip after that next week.
He's good. He's got to relax.
Yeah, man. So we'll take a week off then, and when he comes back again, we're working on getting Chavo Guerrero on the show.
Excellent. Well, that'll be something to look forward to. I myself, I don't know where I'm going to be. I could schedule to be in Chicago, but who knows? The coronavirus is set me to the wind, baby. And as an official carrier of the coronavirus, I just have to go where the Russians send me.
Right. And quit hoarding, not you, but everybody watching, quit hoarding all the toilet paper and hand sanitizer.
Toilet paper is ridiculous.
It's not the end of the world, everybody.
Hand sanitizer, I could use some of that.
Some, but don't buy like 5 boxes of it because
I still get like a half a bottle. And it's like I'm not. I mean, you don't need to use it if you don't leave the house. I mean, it's like, oh my God, I'm going to infect myself. That doesn't work out good. Anyway, so next week we'll be back again. All of you guys, we really appreciate you hanging in here with us, and we love your comments, and we love talking with you about wrestling and anything else that happens to pop up. We appreciate it very, very much. We will be doing at the end of March a giveaway for a $25 Amazon gift card and a Masked Comedian Xcast hat. All you have to do, go subscribe to us on YouTube and make a comment there, and you will be registered for that big prize.
Yeah. Also follow us on Facebook.
Thank you.
And also follow us on Facebook and on Twitter.
Facebook. We're on Twitter, I think. Are we?
Yeah,
we're on Twitter. Yeah, Facebook, Twitter.
I think you are actually.
Oh yeah, I am. Masked Comedian X. Just look at Masked Comedian X everywhere. Look up Big Ace everywhere. Just like it everywhere, man. Even if you just see a picture of a guy with a mask, it could be me. So go ahead and like it.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. Also, WrestlePalooza just got announced for June at First Avenue in Minneapolis.
Oh, that's right. Tickets go on sale on Friday.
Yeah, but I think we need to make it a point to actually go to this show.
I agree.
I think it's in May. Am I correct?
Maybe I thought it was in June.
Yeah, it might be late June, but I think this year we actually need to make, or this, because it's basically they do that every 6 months. There's a summer and a winter, so we're going to actually have to make it to this one.
I agree. All right, we'll do that. Again, thanks to all of you for watching. We look forward to seeing you all again next week, 8 o'clock Central Time, 7 o'clock, or 9 o'clock. I don't know. I had to get me confused. 8 o'clock Central Time. Whatever time you're watching, it'll be about the same time. We appreciate it very, very much. We will talk with you all soon. Have a good night, everybody.
See ya.